Welcome back to another episode.
Just go.
Just interrupts. Welcome back to another episode of our message recap show where we recap messages. And on the day that we are filming this, Shaheen, you have a birthday. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Happy
Can you
birthday.
show your phone
Yeah,
off?
I'm going to shut my phone off right now.
Happy birthday, Shaheen. You got a wonderful gift from your family this morning.
I did.
Would you like to display it for all to see?
Right there.
World's
Thanks,
best
girls.
dad.
I'm wearing the hat you gave me
World's best dad.
because I love it and I love you.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, moving on.
All right. Anyway, so
Moving
that's
on.
enough about that.
We had a message this week. We started a brand new series called Preventative Maintenance. Just kind of talking about, making sure you change the oil in your car and the things you can do
Victory
around
Lane
your
Quick Oil
house.
Change and Car Wash
Yep.
of North Branch, Minnesota, and Chisago, Minnesota, and Bar and Grill.
And bar and grill.
I thought it was taxidermy. It's bar and grill?
Am I going to get some royalties or I said not a sponsor at the time, but inside, I'm really kind of expecting a sponsorship.
If we see an uptick in volume because of your making known that you work there, yes.
Okay, how are you tracking that?
When people specifically say, I'm here because of the mention in the message at Access Church.
Okay. Are there any discounts for said people who, if they come into Victory Lane Quick Oil Change and Car Wash and Bar and Grill, that they will get?
Anyone who says
They use coupon code Shaheen or Access.
all they need to do is verbally say, I heard about this from Access Church.
Okay.
You get a 20% discount
Whoa.
Wow.
on all services.
I am here because I want more than just an oil change. I want the entire preventative maintenance checklist.
Yes, if they don't ask for that, they obviously didn't listen to the message.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Okay,
I
well, there
really
you go.
hope you go give your shop a call after this. Because if you don't mention any of this to them and people start rolling through going, I'm here for the 20% discount.
Not only is that taken care of, but the manager from the Chisago shop was in church yesterday.
Yes.
And I encouraged him to make sure that all of the employees watch it online there at the shop. Watch it together.
There we go.
And obviously because Victory Lane Quick Oil Change and Car Wash was mentioned, but also what a great way to get them to think bigger than just cars, huh?
Yeah, so it's segueing into that. This message had nothing to do with Victory Lane, okay? It had everything to do with the preventative maintenance in our own lives, but mainly,
Why, Johnny?
I know.
What hat do you
Yeah,
have
you
on?
noticed it. You noticed it. Victory Lane.
We really missed an opportunity today.
I should have wore all my Victory
We
Lane
could have
stuff.
all wore our Victory Lane
Not
Quick
you.
Oil Change and Car Wash.
Not you.
No, not me, no.
No.
You got to wear
I'm-
the world's best dad.
I'm busy wearing this hat, so...
Those of you that wanted a message recap,
We're 6 minutes deep and haven't
we're
talked about
gonna
anything
try to
yet.
get to that. It is preventative maintenance,
Yep.
the series, but it's not oil changes.
Not at all.
It's not furnace filters. It is the more serious issues in our life. However, you kicked it off by asking a question.
Yeah.
What if?
Yep.
Do you want to kind of explain? What if?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this in the message, but the reason just 10-second overview, the reason we don't do preventative maintenance because we think it doesn't matter. And so all the message about this week was just trying to get us to look at preventative maintenance from a different angle of what if it does matter? What if it would make a difference? And the reason I wanted to spend time on this is because we've done, we're going to talk about relationships in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about raising your kids. We're going to talk about topics that we've talked about before plenty of times, stuff that, everybody's heard from church or other people's advice or books they've read. This is none of it's going to be this, oh my gosh, new information. I've never heard this. But I think the danger always is just kind of this in one ear and out the other sort of thing. I don't need to do that. My life's just fine. It's not really going to make a difference. And so this whole week was really just about can we try and open up our minds to at least be open to the possibility of, but just what if it does? You know, and I said this at the very end of the message, but like, if we're not open to that, the next 4 weeks are going to seem like a tranny flush when all you want is an oil change. Like, just, who cares? Like, yeah, I mean, I'll listen when you come to my car window, I'm getting the oil change, but like, I don't really want that. I'm not really going to do that. And I think with that sort of attitude, we shut out what God could actually help us with.
Yeah.
You know, I think God's advice is good. I think it's beneficial for our lives. I think it can help us live better, experience better relationships. All that is so good. But we don't do what God says because we think it doesn't matter. You know? And so like that, I mean, like I said, the whole message is really just kind of a long setup, a long introduction, but just getting us to pause and think like, I know you think you're fine. I know you think that your relationships are good. I know you think that your kids are going to turn out awesome. I know you think all that. But what if God sees something different than us?
Yeah.
You know?
What if you can do some preventative things in your life rather than damage control when things go bad?
Yeah.
To add, I think why don't we do these things in our life is just that we don't think it matters. But in the back of our head, we all think, well, I'll deal with that when it happens.
Yeah.
Well,
Cross
if the
that
tranny
bridge when I
goes,
get to it.
you know what? Then I'll deal with it, or I'll fix it when it starts making. I'll fix it when I see it start causing a problem. When it's no longer serving me, I'll call the repairman. I'll get the thing fixed, whatever. The problem is with life is, by the time most of these things affect us, it's too hard to fix. So at least the tranny, okay, it's going to cost you $3,000 when it could have cost you $100. You know, well, I'll deal with the $3,000. Okay, we'll come up with.
When your kids are 18, it's probably
tough.
too late. When you get handed the divorce papers, probably
Too late. Yeah.
It is. And some of those things we can't fix. We can fix the other things, but when you said the serious things of life, when we say I'll deal with it when it starts causing me pain, most of the time it's too late then. And the pain is more than we can imagine, and it's not fixable. Now, God can heal us and we can move on, but so oftentimes it's just not fixable. And, you know, the saying that we've said a long time ago, you know, is there's two types of pain in life, and it's the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline hurts, but it doesn't crush. The pain of regret is crushing. And that's what this series is kind of about. Don't wait till the regret.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take care of things and save us from the regret. Well, it might have been okay anyway. So what? You know, I mean, a little bit of discipline, a little bit of preventative maintenance certainly isn't going to hurt, even if your tranny wouldn't have went out. You know, you think you got a good marriage. It could be better. You think your kids are doing good. They could be better, you know, and really every area of our life. And the whole idea too, I absolutely love, and there's two things of the message I just really, really love. And the one is this: what if God is right? Think about, that's deep thought. Think about it for everyone. What if everything God said is true? What if it is? I believe it is. How will that affect your life? What if everything God said is true and right? And
good
what
and
kind of a
beneficial
person would ignore that? Think about it. What kind of a person would ignore God, creator of everything, saying this is best for you, and to say, we got to think about that. We've all done it, but like, hey, I don't want to be that kind of person. And the best
manufacturer recommendations.
Yeah. The best part of the message, I'm going to wait till the very end because I'm going to close this off.
Okay.
I love it. You probably know where I'm going.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. Just love it so much.
So you're closing this out then?
Oh, yeah. Well, I
That's what
will
you're
be.
saying. Okay.
I just want you guys to have a chance to share before
We
I
might as well just start now.
cap it off.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think for a first message in this series, kind of teeing things up, it's pretty easy to understand in my mind. Just,
I mean, every week of this series, we're gonna launch off from that point.
Yeah.
Okay. What if God is right? What if His instructions are good? What if there's some things that we can be doing to help ourselves? You know, and then we're gonna talk about specifics.
And
but
here's what He says. So what do we
here's
do with
what He
that?
says.
What kind of a person would just ignore what God says. I mean, we all have, but we don't want to be that person anymore, right?
So if you were gonna 30-second preview, get people prepared for the rest of this series, what would you want to say to them?
What if?
What if?
What if? I will tell you what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about relationships, probably specifically marriage. We're going to be talking about parenting. We're going to be talking about our money. And then we're going to be talking about big picture purpose.
Okay.
So there you go.
I kind of like
I don't know if they're in that order.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we don't tell people when the money weeks are going to be. Okay.
You're just going to have
we
to
just
find
leave
that
that
one
detail out. But you'd kind of just say to people, just get your mind, go back, watch this What If over, and get your mind open to.
I didn't do this in the message. We talked a little bit about it and run through earlier in the week, but I would hope that you this whole week would just be asking yourself that question. What if God's right? What if his principles are true? What if there is this Galatians 6:9, if you want to go read it? What if this overall principle, don't tire of doing good because at just the right time you'll reap? What if all of that is true? And I hope that you think about it this week so that when you come on Sunday or when you watch the message online on Sunday, you will already have that. And like I said, at least be open and not just shut off and be like, nah, my life's fine. I don't need to do that. So
I like the fact that you threw in there things that every one of us have already found out that God was right about. Every one of us have found out God is right about some stuff that sounds odd. Mm-hmm. We've all learned it.
Yep.
The better give than receive. There's a couple of things you mentioned. Like we all, if we're honest with ourselves, as odd as that sounds, God is right. Yeah. Wow.
Is that your amazing piece that's closing the show out? Or okay, go ahead.
All right, go for it.
You're up.
Are we ready?
Yep, we're ready.
The best part of the message, and I hope you don't miss this, and if you do, that's why we're recapping. Okay?
It was not a very big part of the message. It was probably only about 3 or 4 sentences right in the middle.
It's just past middle, 5/8.
Okay.
Yep, 5/8 way through.
He's sitting there with a clock.
Oh, yeah, got it down. And if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to see it right after this. Make sure you really watch for this. That what he says is most of the Bible has nothing to do with being right with God, going to heaven.
Most of God's instructions. Yeah. I wouldn't say most of the Bible.
Well, most of the New
Testament. Because I caught myself second service.
You did. What the to-dos in the Bible, to-dos, don't do this, act like this, behave like this, has nothing to do with going to heaven, being right with God, spending time with God, having God's presence in our life, all of those. It has nothing to do with that at all. It is completely, specifically directed to life. Mm-hmm. Because God's the manufacturer. He knows what we require. He says, here's my recommendations. They're not promises. I'm so glad you said that. They're not promises. Hey, if you do this, this is going to happen. But generally speaking, overall, as far as human beings go, this is how it works. When you forgive, you have peace. It's for life. And God's instructions in the Bible are for life. We've talked about this for years and years. Is that the same reason that we parent our children? If we're a good parent, we tell our kids, don't touch the hot stove. Don't cross the street without looking both ways. Don't drink that stuff under the sink in the cupboard. Mm-hmm. Don't do that. Why do we give our kids these instructions? So that they're closer to us? So that we love them more? No, it has everything to do with because we know what's best for their life. And we know that if you touch a hot stove, it's going to burn. It's going to hurt you and me. And that is the same exact picture of the instructions in the Bible are from God, our Heavenly Father, who loves us. And you know why he says, don't steal? Is because...
So we can go to heaven.
And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that was made clear. It has nothing to do with being right with God. Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Well, because that's what we think.
But that's what we think.
Yeah, all these rules.
We've got to change this perspective of these instructions in the Bible have nothing to do with being right with God. It has everything to do with God loves us so much that he knows when people steal, it hurts. Mm-hmm. And he don't want pain. Why does he say, not to covet, not to do these. Why? Because he knows the pain it causes. Just like we know the pain that will be caused if our kids touch the stove. We know that. And these instructions in the Bible are God's way of saying, I love you. Yeah. I know what's best. Follow what I say. It has nothing to do with going to heaven. It's just your life's going to be much better. No promise of perfection, but generally speaking, it's way better than people who don't. And so it's such a great principle. I hope that this whole series, you're listening for that as well, that this has everything to do with living a better life. And we all want a better life. Everybody does. Mm-hmm. And this is God saying, I know what's best for you. Do this. It's awesome stuff. It is. It's awesome.
So takeaway, don't touch a hot stove, because if you do, you won't go to heaven.
Right. Exactly. Good. And make sure and go visit Victory Lane Quick Oil Change and Car Wash and Bar and Grill.
Amen.
Amen. Boy. Okay, there you go. There's our recap. It's going to pop up here in a second. Watch it. It's called The Question. Make sure to be back next week, because we'll have another message, and the week after that. Yep. And the week after that.
And we'll probably do it for about, I was going to say 52, but we might not do it 52 weeks. We're going to do it a lot of the weeks.
A lot of the weeks we will have a message recap. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back next week. Yep. Adios.